Ladies and gentlemen, the moment that we have been waiting for is almost here. The press has arrived and so has the minister. So we will be live streaming the press conference on this screen for you guys, as well as all the people following us. And again, another request. The owner of a Range Rover T676 DTC, Range Rover T676 DTC, if you could please just move for a little bit so that someone can move their car as well. Mwenye Range Rover T676 DTC, tunaomba usogeze gari lako kidogo, mpishe mwenzako. So ladies and gentlemen, we're about to kick off the event. We'll be live streaming as well the press conference on the screen, and then the panel will come outside to share more and answer many of your questions. Karibuni sana.
Is that real? Yes. I read it there. I called it AI can change. True. To do things. I think we're getting ready. We're starting? Yes. In how many minutes? How many minutes? Just. We are starting in how many minutes? Oh, we are ready now.
Place now in Tanzania and in Zanzibar. Karibuni wote. And of course, don't leave us too early. We have some amazing news to share with you later this evening. And then I'm excited to welcome you all. Thank you, Karibuni sana. And of course, we have the press. But first, allow me to give the word to His Honorable Minister, explaining the importance and the news about this new Immigration Act. Karibuni sana, Mr.
Asante, Sebastian. Thank you, everyone. Thank you once again, CPS, for granting me this honor and this opportunity of gracing this historic event. I would like to start by, first of all, expressing my sincere gratitude to yourself and your entire team for the wonderful work that you guys continue to do on the islands. As well as the very close collaboration that we are having between CPS and the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar. CPS's presence on the island has been truly remarkable. We have had a very strong, very long-standing relationship that dates back for more than 6 years now. And everything, since we started this journey, everything that we have been doing, unveiling of the various projects and several other initiatives, community engagement, CSR engagements, all of these have been coordinated very effectively, very professionally. And the government would like to express its sincere gratitude for the wonderful work that CPS continues to do. As stated, we are here today not only to mark the launching of a few new products that we will unveil later on, but also to provide something that has long been awaited for. And I know Andrea is here. She's been on my neck, literally, if we can get the camera to her so that they know who I'm talking about. We are finally here, and I'm very excited to now officially make this announcement that through the parliamentary session that had concluded on the 30th of June, 2023, we were officially able to pass or amend the Immigration Act by adding the real estate buyers incentives. This was a long time coming. We have worked diligently. We have worked very hard for the past couple of years to make sure that we provide a unique incentive package for our real estate developers as well as buyers. And CPS, you have been a champion of this. Of course, through the ministry, we have taken every measure that we could take to make sure that we get this bill through. So I'd like to take this moment and convey my sincere gratitude to the Home Affairs Minister, my brother, Hamad Masauni, all the people from the Immigration Department who have worked tirelessly with us for the past 2 years. I know we've engaged in several backroom discussions, meetings, and negotiations in order to get this thing through. And so we are finally here after all the hard work, the Parliament, as well as all the other relevant stakeholders, where now we officially have a real estate buyers incentive package as part of the amendment made on the Immigration Act, where real estate property developers, individual buyers can now have resident permits for up to 5 years with their families of up to 4 children to be able to buy properties, but as well as establish residency within the country. This is a monumental achievement. It was a very monumental task, and we're very happy to announce that that has now officially been approved by the Parliament of Tanzania and is already set to take effect. So we're very excited to announce this. Zanzibar being the pioneer of this, eventually the whole United Republic of Tanzania stands to benefit from this. And this will open the floodgates for investment in various areas, both regionally and globally. And we hope that Zanzibar would continue to mark the way of inviting real estate developers and investors and enticing more buyers to come in and take advantage of the already booming property market that's on the island. So once again, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to the government of the United Republic of Tanzania, Her Excellency the President, Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan, my very own President, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, for them being the champions of this initiative. And now we're finally here and we can finally say that we did it. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much, and we look forward to having a very productive panel discussion and a very wonderful and fruitful evening that we have planned ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
Okay. Yeah. So let me give them what they want. Habari za jioni mabibi na mabwana, natumai wote ni wazima. Nianze kwanza kuchukua fursa hii kumshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa kutuwezesha kujumuika jioni hii ya leo katika tukio letu hili la kihistoria sana. Leo hii tumepata fursa ya kuweza kujumuika katika ofisi za CPS hapa Masaki pamoja na CEO wa CPS na Deputy CEO wa CPS ambapo tuna habari njema kabisa kwa wananchi, lakini vile vile kwa wanadiaspora na wananchi wote wa duniani kwamba sasa serikali ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania imeamua kwa makusudi kufanya mabadiliko katika sheria yake ya uhamiaji, kuruhusu wanunuzi wa nyumba za makazi ama wawekezaji katika nyumba za makazi kuwa na vibali vya ukaazi katika nchi. Hili ni jambo la kihistoria, ni jambo muhimu, ni jambo zito ambalo linaenda kufungua la nyumba za makazi, lakini vile vile linaenda kufungua soko la utalii kwa kuenda kutanua wigo wa wawekezaji ambao wanaingia nchini katika kuwekeza katika soko hili, lakini vile vile kuweza kukaribisha wageni na watalii kutoka maeneo mbalimbali duniani ambao wana nia na dhamira ya kutaka kununua nyumba katika nchi yetu. Kama tunavyofahamu, ujenzi wa nyumba za makazi ni sehemu kubwa ya uchumi wa nchi zetu, na kwa upande wa visiwa vya Zanzibar jambo hilo tumelichukulia kwa uzito wake. Tuna miradi zaidi ya 36 sasa hivi ya nyumba za makazi ambayo tunaendelea nayo. Miradi mikubwa miwili ambayo tunaendelea nayo ni pamoja na huu wa zetu wa CPS, lakini vile vile katika miradi yote hiyo hapo nyuma wanunuzi wa nyumba zile walikuwa hawapati kibali cha ukaazi. Kwa hiyo wengi wao walikuwa wanalazimika wakiingia nchini wanamiliki nyumba zao, lakini wanatakiwa waingie na kutoka ili kuweza kukidhi vile vigezo vya uhamiaji. Sasa kupitia mabadiliko haya tunawawezesha wanunuzi hawa kuweza kumiliki nyumba zao kwa amani, kuwa na vibali vya ukaazi kwa zaidi ya kwa kipindi cha miaka 5 kwa wao, lakini vile vile kwa wanafamilia wao ikiwemo mke na watoto 4. Kwa hiyo kipekee nichukue fursa hii kuwashukuru sana wenzetu wa Wizara ya Mambo ya Ndani, lakini vile vile uhamiaji kwa kazi kubwa na nzuri ambayo tumeweza kuifanya kwa takriban kipindi cha mwaka 1.5 ama miaka 2, ambapo tumekuwa tukifanya kazi kwa ajili ya kuweka framework ya namna gani ambavyo hili jambo tunaweza kulitekeleza. Na tunashukuru vile vile viongozi wetu wakuu wa nchi, Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan pamoja na Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi kwa kuwa machampion wa hili jambo. Ni dhahiri kwamba soko la nyumba za makazi ni sekta ambayo inakuwa kwa kasi kubwa sana, na tumeona ni kwa kiasi gani tumeweza kuvutia mitaji mikubwa sana. Ukiangalia wenzetu hawa CPS tayari pale wameshawekeza zaidi ya dola milioni 300 mpaka sasa hivi. Kwa hiyo hii ni sekta ambayo tunatarajia inaenda kuinua uchumi kwa kiwango kikubwa sana, lakini itakuwa na faida kubwa zaidi katika ule mnyororo wa thamani, ikiwemo kutengeneza ajira za kutosha, kuweka huduma mbalimbali ambazo zinaweza zikapatikana katika hii miji ambayo tunaitengeneza, lakini vile vile kuvutia wageni na watalii mbalimbali ambao watakuwa wanataka kukodisha hizi nyumba. Niwashukuru CPS pamoja na timu yao kwa kuweza kuandaa hili tukio na kuweza press conference ambayo leo hii tunapata fursa ya kutoa habari njema hii tuliokuja nayo, lakini vile vile kuendelea kuwapongeza watendaji wote ambao tumefanya kazi kwa karibu sana kuhakikisha kwamba jambo hili linafanikiwa. Asanteni sana. Asante sana.
Sana jambo hili kubwa na zito ambalo serikali yetu ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania na serikali ya Mapinduzi ya Zanzibar wameweza kulifanikisha. Imekuwa ni shughuli pevu katika kulifuatilia hili jambo na kuhakikisha kwamba linatimia kwa wakati sahihi, na tunapenda kutoa shukrani zetu za dhati sana kama kampuni ya CPS kwa serikali katika kutusaidia kuweza kufanikisha hili jambo. Sasa sisi siku zote CPS tumekuwa tuna kauli mbiu ya kwamba sisi ni wafungua njia, na tunashukuru sana serikali walitupa nafasi ya kuweza kusaidiana na kufanikisha na kufanya kazi pamoja nao kwa ukaribu sana ili kuweza kulikamilisha hili swala. Linafungua milango mikubwa na mipana sana kwa serikali yetu, kwa nchi yetu kuweza kukaribisha wawekezaji, sio tu katika ununuzi wa nyumba peke yake ama real estate kama tunavyojua, lakini kwenye wigo mpana sana. Tunakuwa na uwezo wa watu wengi ambao wanaweza kuja kuinvest ama kuwekeza katika nchi yetu na kuweza kufanya biashara na kukuza uchumi wa nchi. Kwa hiyo tunatoa shukrani zetu za dhati sana kwa serikali kwa kuweza kupiga hatua hii kubwa. Asanteni sana. Tungepata kidogo remark za mwisho kutoka kwa mkurugenzi.
Evening. This new Immigration Act will change the picture and the landscape of housing in Tanzania. We all know housing is one of the biggest drivers of our economy. Early industry is initiated through housing, through the housing sector. And this act, this new Immigration Act, allowing people, and any housing market in the world will need investors from around the world, and especially we want to welcome, of course, and the Tanzanian government welcome warmly people in the US, in Europe, and anywhere in the world, in the Middle East, in Muscat. We know there's a lot of people from Tanzania living to come and invest back home. And this Immigration Act, this new part of the Immigration Act allowing for resident permit of investing above $100,000 is basically a big welcoming to the entire diaspora community and investors out there. Come invest in Zanzibar, come and invest in Tanzania, in the real estate market, which is still in the early stage and has an unseen potential of growth, of return of investments. And we need a lot of houses in Tanzania. The figures are all, but we know that we need millions of houses. The backlog has been huge and is growing year by year. Zanzibar has taken very bold moves by initiating this act to change, or this amendment to the Immigration Act, allowing for resident permit. Because people around the world, when you come back home to Tanzania, when you come back home to Zanzibar, and you want to invest substantially in real estate, into housing, you want to be assured that you can come and visit your home at any time. And this is what we're very thankful for. The government of Tanzania, the government of Zanzibar, drafting this great welcome note to all of you around the world. Come and invest in Tanzania, come and invest in Zanzibar, in housing. CPS is here. We have proven projects in Zanzibar. We're launching projects in Tanzania mainland, but there's many other developers. And of course, there is opportunity for opening businesses also here, right? We have the Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority in Zanzibar under the minister's office. We have Tanzanian Investment Center in Tanzania, who are there to guide you as investors coming into the country. The doors are wide open. And I think a picture, a sign for these wide open doors is this new Immigration Act. And we want to be very thankful as developers. And we want to extend that invitation to all of you around the world. Come and invest back home. Come and invest in Zanzibar and in Tanzania. Come and invest in housing market. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Do you hear me? Yes. Good evening. I welcome you warmly to the second part of our event tonight. You will find the same gentlemen who have been sitting there and answering the press here on stage with me soon. And we will dig deeper into the conditions of the new law and the new town being developed in Zanzibar. You are all welcome also to pose audience questions. We'll come to that a bit later. So let me see where they are, and then we'll be right back with you on stage here. I'd like to welcome our guests for the panel tonight. Mr. Minister, Honorable Minister Soraga, would you like to sit there, please? Sebastian Lietzold, maybe you'd like to sit there. And Leander Moons on the right side. Thank you. Let me come join you. So good evening. Good evening once more. Welcome to the panel. After having the chat with the press and the press conference, now we are here to talk to the audience on a beautiful evening in Dar es Salaam, not raining. Even in Zanzibar, it has been raining a lot, so we are relieved that it's a little bit dry right now. So, I'd like to first introduce the panelists. You have already seen Honorable Minister Mudrik Soraga from Zanzibar, Minister for Investment, Economy and Labor from Zanzibar, is here with us tonight. A warm welcome. Next to him, Sebastian Lietzold, many of you might know him already, the developer of Fumba Town and the CEO of CPS. And that means also our host tonight, because it's a newly renovated, rather, CPS office, which we are in tonight. And then, on the far right from you, we have Leander Moons. Leander Moons is a Dutch national and architect who has been with Fumba Town since the beginning in various roles. And tonight we welcome you in Dar es Salaam to give us some more understanding of what you are building there. Mr. Leander Moons, please. Our panel conversation tonight has an interesting topic. Investing in property, gaining residency, from an idea on the drawing board to a solid, growing town, the new frontier. So to dwell on all these interesting aspects of it, we are here tonight. Dear guests and dear viewers all over the world who are joining us tonight online via YouTube, the landscape of foreign investment in Tanzania and Zanzibar is changing dramatically for the better. Foreign investors buying property now qualify for resident status based on a new immigration law. This law was published on June 30th this year. It is a long and, I must say, eagerly awaited privilege. Tonight, we will get first-hand information from the highest political and entrepreneurial level about the new permit and also about Fumba town, the planning and the progress to date. The new permit was made for buyers of real estate. That is a quote from it, as investors are being called there. Its implications for the economy and the benefits for both the country and foreign investors are substantial. Let me start with a question to you, Honorable Minister. We heard, the ones who listened into the press conference, that Zanzibar was indeed, I must also introduce myself. I just learned. My name is Andrea Tapper. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Fumba Times, which I hope you all know and you all are reading. And I'm an international journalist. And I am also, since a short time, a resident in Fumba. So I'm very pleased to be able to speak to you here tonight, to introduce the panel, and also meet probably some of the readers of our newspaper. So the question, Honorable Minister, we heard Zanzibar was the motor who drove the new law, the new amendment. What made you do that? Can you give us a bit more of an idea why this Zanzibar initiative, which by the way is a diplomatic and political masterpiece, I would say, came into being?
Thank you so much, Andrea, and thank you for the compliments. Good evening, everyone. I just had deja vu. I remember today is the 20th of November. It's exactly 3 years ago where I had my first event after my initial appointment as the minister, where we had this event here. So literally, you know, so I'm feeling nostalgic, is it? Or something like that, I don't know. But yeah, it's very wonderful to be back here. It's been a long 3 years since my appointment as the minister. Happy that I'm still holding the same portfolio. And also I would first of all like to take this opportunity to really extend my sincere gratitude to CPS. CPS have been the champion for real estate development in Zanzibar. They've been the pioneer of many of the initiatives that have come about for the past 3 years that we as the government have been very open to embrace and also try to see how we can implement them from a policy or from a legal perspective. The issue of the real estate buyer's incentive was something that was actually championed by CPS, embraced by the government, and implemented by the relevant stakeholders, including the immigration department. One of the key drivers that we came to this is actually based on 2 or 3 issues. Number one is the realization that most property owners were inconvenienced when buying property. They could not stay within the country for a sustained period, or they would have to come in and out of the country multiple times so that they can maintain their immigration status. Now, if you have a property and you've invested several $100,000 and you cannot stay within that property for a sustained period of time, or you have to go in and out of the country, obviously that does not make sense, and it doesn't really provide that sense of ownership or feeling that this is actually my property and I want to enjoy it at any point in time when I'm here, and not feel burdened by the immigration laws of where my status of staying within the country is coming to an end. So that was one key driver. But another issue was on once you buy a property and you are invested, there are also several other opportunities that arise. Maybe you want to open a bank account, or you want to contribute to the economy by paying taxes. Now, if you don't have a resident permit, you can't do either one. You can't have a bank account, nor can you have what we call the TIN, the tax identification number. Now, this was not only a disadvantage for the homeowner, but it was also a disadvantage for the government, because we were missing a whole tax revenue base of buyers who have already invested millions or hundreds of millions of shillings, but they were not paying any taxes. We were missing the opportunity of deposits, because most of these investors or most of these buyers, they also want to have their bank accounts and move in some of their funding and monies within the country. Now, when you don't have all of those things, free flow of revenue and taxes, it's not only detrimental to the government, but it's also detrimental to the economy. And these people are already staying, and so they have access to social services and all of these other amenities where they are not directly contributing to cover the cost for the government. So I think these are some of the key drivers that really brought us to the table to say, okay, we need to secure a way where we can assure, as a property developer, as an investor, or as a buyer, you can have your residency, be able to stay in the country for an extended period of time, and in this case, 5 years, but not only yourself, but your family members of up to 4 kids, which it's an example that we have seen across the globe. Everybody pretty much does this. When you go to countries such as the Seychelles and Mauritius, they actually have it for 10 years. We're starting with 5 with the expectation and the hope that we can, extend it to perhaps 10 years in the very near future.
Thank you very much. So it's about not losing out, and I would like to step a little step back and ask Sebastian Dietzold to tell us a bit more about the vision and the idea behind the residence permits in general. Of course, it facilitates a stay of foreigners investing here, but foreigners investing in the property market, why is that in itself so important to you, to Zanzibar, and probably most likely also to Tanzania?
Thank you, Andrea, for this question, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for your words. Thank you all for coming. I see a lot of good friends, old friends I haven't seen, Lucy, others for many years now. Thank you all for joining us this evening here at our new office, Asante Nisana. We have been blessed to be working in Zanzibar and in Tanzania now for more than 11, 12 years. When I say blessed, don't say it's only been easy, it's been hard as well. But we have been blessed because we have been working in a very close cooperation with the government, driving things. As CPS, as a company, we are driven by impact. We want to do things differently. We are trailblazers. And for us, everything starts with the heart. So we are very passionate about what we do. We believe, we know, we've seen in many other places, you mentioned Mauritius, Seychelles, if you look at China, many of the big economies today still who are already very also industrialized, their main GDP driver, or a big GDP driver, is still housing. Today in China, 30% of the GDP is housing, right, and housing-related industries. So we came to Zanzibar and to Tanzania with the projects, with you as investors from around the world now, to also impact this market and drive a housing market that will grow, that will develop the country, that will initiate industrialization. We talk often about industrialization, right? And it's a little bit like developing. It's always this chicken and egg problem, right? You need to build houses, but you need people who invest in these houses first, right? Same with industrialization. Where do you start? When you have a strong housing market, everything around building windows, making tiles, doing doors for your local market will start initial industrialization. And once you become really good in making those windows, you can think about exporting them as well, right? So we believe that the housing sector is key to driving our economy. And that's why we are so thankful and grateful to be working close with the government to create this welcome note, this new amendment of the Immigration Act that now allows people from around the world to invest into this market. Right? And then I think we have to think about housing a bit broader than just, now these foreigners are coming, buying a house in Zanzibar. No, it's not that. It's also that. But it is people are investing in a sector that will start driving a very important part of our economy, the industrialization of the housing market and the real estate market. And that will then create other markets. You can look at around the world. Dubai has started there, right? China has started there. Many other places have started there, and we have a huge potential. And I'm so glad that now people from around the world, especially from the diaspora community, have the chance to safely invest back home, and not just to invest safely back home, that has been there already before, but also to enjoy staying at your house, at your residence, at your apartment, at Fumba Town, at Azor and other places for as long as you want. Right? You don't have to come in and out. Okay, you have to renew your resident permit every 5 years, right? But it is also very affordable. The government has been really working hard to make this a very attractive issue. So you're now not only safe, but you also can come and enjoy. The diaspora market is especially important for the countries, and I know that the government of Tanzania and the government of Zanzibar, our president Mama Suluhu is traveling around the world. Dr. Mini is traveling around, the head of SIPA, Sharif, the ministers are traveling around the world to advertise Tanzania and Zanzibar are safe and world-class investment destinations. And we want to use this opportunity to welcome everybody, invest in housing now in Zanzibar. You don't only invest safely in a very strongly growing market with high returns, but you also have now the right to enjoy living there and getting a resident permit coming back home. Last night, I came back from Germany, and on my flight there was a few Tanzanians from Düsseldorf, which is a town in Germany, and we discussed, and they say, Sebastian, life in Germany is really tough, and I know I don't want to go there for very long. Life is very tough in Europe and the US, and you have to make your, $2,000, $3,000 every month. It's not easy. It's a tough world out there. So, giving people, especially from the Tanzanian diaspora, to invest back home safely and secure this opportunity now in Zanzibar and soon also in Tanzania, I think is a major step forward. And we want to welcome you all. Come and invest back home in Zanzibar and Tanzania. And I think this new Immigration Act is the welcome note to exactly doing that.
Very much, Mr. Dietzold, Sebastian Dietzold. Can we be a bit more specific even? You said the property market is driving economy, and again, the residence permit will probably or definitely get many more future investors and future residents to come and invest here. So I might also include Mr. Moons. Where do we see specific implications and progress? What sort of factories, for instance, or jobs have been created in Fumba and around Fumba to do with the building of a whole town? How has the development manifested in the opening of new economic ventures?
Thank you, Andrea, and good evening, everybody. First of all, thank you to the Honorable Minister and Sebastian, because we have to say that without the framework provided by the government and entrepreneurial efforts by developers, we cannot talk about these things, and that we should honor quite a lot, also from our side as planners. So when we embarked on this journey in Fumba town, and I remember as the day as yesterday, I was there for the first time. There were 2 houses and a big empty plot, and we were talking about what should this town be. And the town should be all about community. And I think that is the important thing to note here. How can we make an impact? Mr. Sebastian already mentioned like diaspora, bringing people back who have a tie to the country, but it's also investing in the people already there. And I think we can do nothing better than building a town for them and with them to improve like standards, to improve and industrialize. We're talking about like what kind of industries are that. We at the first time when we met, actually we were talking about timber, and that's completely new here. Now I've been talking with a lot of people here, and everybody is talking about timber. This was unthinkable 8 years ago, and we were discussing how, for example, people from Europe or the US are coming here and are impressed by the craftsmanship of the local timber craftsmen. And I think that is a tribute to how far we have come in this.
Yeah, may I just ask there again? You also have a timber factory right next to the growing town, the Volkshaus factory, isn't it? The minister is also shaking his head. I think you have also visited Volkshaus factory already. An example of investment following a property boom, if we might say so. So this Volkshaus factory, what do they do there exactly?
Well, what we develop is like housing solutions. Of course, like when a town grows, like you start small and it gets bigger, it gets denser. People want a swimming pool, a sports facility, cafes. So we develop like houses together with Volkshaus, together with CPS, and everybody basically involved in the town who increase that density, and where we can like then build these houses through the factory, and through that we create employment for the local population.
Thank you. I'm sorry, by the way, for the heat here, Mr. Minister. It is when you are in the limelight, such things happen. We are grateful that you're enduring it like everybody here. Back to you, Mr. Honorable Minister Soraga. We talked about the benefits of foreign investment for the country. If we turn it around, why does it make sense at this stage and with growing investments even more sense for foreigners to invest in property here? What is actually your claim, your promise to them, if they do so? In which way would they, the home buyers, benefit from buying something in Tanzania? I mean, first of all, you have to convince people to buy something in Zanzibar here. I know you don't have to do much convincing because there are a lot of people trying to buy property there. So maybe you can give us a bit of a background on investment figures, how it has gone up since these new possibilities are there.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for the wonderful question. There's not much convincing to attract people to come in and invest in Zanzibar. I think everyone is witness to the amount of transformation that has been happening for the last 3 years in terms of the government initiative to improve business environment, as well as creating a framework where we are attracting the right type of investors. For the past 3 years, Zanzibar has seen remarkable growth in terms of new investors. We've registered well over 230 projects worth to the tune of $4 billion US dollars. All of this within the span of 3 years. Now, when they look at the projections, what we've done in 3 years is what has been done for the last 17 years. So it's a remarkable growth curve that we see. And all of this is because of the huge investor confidence that has been developed, but also more importantly, because of the incentives that we have been rolling out. Now, the real estate buyers incentive is one, which has been a long time coming, and now we're finally here. We've announced it, and we hope that it will be more of an attractive to entice more investors to come in and buy properties.
What would be the return on investment, if I can just jump in here?
I'll let Sebastian answer that.
For potential, yes.
If I can continue.
Yes, please.
Sebastian will talk about the business aspect of it. I'm a politician. So yeah, in terms of the incentives, if you're a typical real estate developer or buyer, one of the things that we assure you is, first of all, 100% ownership of whatever it is that you are buying or that you are developing. There's no need for local partnerships. And that's, we figured that is very important for most developers or buyers. to get that assurance that if I buy a property, it's my property and the government has nothing to do with it and nobody has anything to do with my property. But another incentive is that we exempt 100% on capital gains tax. I don't think this happens any part of the world where you don't pay capital gains taxes. It only happens in Zanzibar. And we do that as a measure of attracting buyers and property developers. But also we exempt you from paying stamp duty. So you don't pay any form of stamp duty when you are buying your property. And you can also repatriate profits that you're earning as a result of selling your house. So if you look at those, I mean, who wouldn't want to come in and invest within the property market? Plus the fact that it's Zanzibar. You know, Zanzibar has this unique position within the global community for the last decade or so as being a very unique cultural melting point. So it's a very welcoming, very multicultural, very diverse country. You look at, for example, Fumba, more than 60 different nationalities are living there in tranquility and in harmony, and everybody, and if I can declare interest, I'm part of that community. I live there. So I know and I know my neighbors, I know Mani, a German, whoever, and we're all living together there, and it's this wonderful blend of all of these different cultures, and this is very important in this current global climate that we're living in, to have everybody living under one roof, and we have all of these differences that we have, but yet so embracing, and so and this is reflective of the Zanzibari culture. But also, you know, we have the government of national unity, and this has been a deliberate effort by His Excellency the President to make sure that we have peace and tranquility, and that we, you know, we remove our differences. When you have elections, it shouldn't be a reason where now everybody is divided and things like that. So that guaranteed peace and the culture and the traditions and the values that we hold as Zanzibar are things that are proven to be very attractive for investors to come in. Plus the fact that we have the best beaches anywhere in the world. I can say that confidently. And our cultural heritage is also something that we are now trying to push as a brand for attracting more investors and tourists to be able to come in on the islands. And for those of you who don't know the history, I would advise you to take time and go in and look into the historical aspect of Zanzibar and the traditions and how far it goes back up to this point where we are. It's all very enticing and very exciting. And I think for those people that do their research, they find that, you know, I can live in this place and I can raise a family. And that's what we have. Even in CPS, you go to Uptown Living, you have all of these different families that are there. The key missing ingredient that was missing for quite some time was the resident permit. Now that we have that, it gives people security, it gives people sense of ownership, and they feel that they belong.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. And Sebastian Dietzold, talking about investment again, what returns of investment, what possibilities do you see for foreigners buying property, whether they live there on themselves or whether rent it out or whether resell? What are the figures you are enticing your customers with?
Thank you. First of all, allow me to underline completely what the minister just said. Zanzibar is an international brand nowadays. When we started the project in 2015 and I was going to Germany or other places in Europe, not everybody knew Zanzibar. That has really changed because of what the government is doing, promoting the project outside, what we are doing, promoting the project outside in the entire world. Everybody knows, many people in the world know Zanzibar, and it's a very attractive brand. And it's a very special brand because Zanzibar works for everybody. Zanzibar works for the Everybody loves Zanzibar, and that's something extremely special. So investing in Zanzibar is a very special opportunity. Now, Andrea, and also my sales agents are asking me this often, what do we tell clients that are asking for the return of investment, right? How much are we getting there? And I think we have to be very honest to our investors and saying, listen, also we as developers are not able to predict the future in detail, right? We don't know if the investment will be 20, 30, 50%, because we can't look into the future. If I tell you that, I'll be lying to you because I don't know. What I can tell you though for sure is to look back. How has the return of investment been? How it has been. So we look back in Dar es Salaam, 1972. You could buy in Posta a 4-bedroom apartment for $20,000. Now, I don't have to tell you what that costs, the same apartment costs today. If you look at that, if you look into Kenya, into Nairobi, since the 70s, 50 years back. So we can see that the appreciation of property in East Africa has always been around 10% per year. And that is now looking 50 years back. In Fumba, we've seen much, much higher appreciations since we started the project. And today, as my sales team, people are laughing about it. We sold 2-bedroom townhouses for $45,000. They're selling for $120,000 today, and we don't even have any, right? So there's even the new product we're launching today was less expensive when we started. So we have very big appreciation, right? But I don't want to promise anything going in the future. But I know for sure that Zanzibar as a tourism destination, that Zanzibar as an economy is outperforming many other places. I just saw yesterday statistics that Zanzibar is under the 10 top tourism destinations in terms of growth, with more than 19%. Tanzania is in general. Zanzibar, I think, is even a bit more. Right? So the tourism sector is growing. The population is growing. The economy is growing faster than any emerging markets around the world. East African economies are outperforming global growth and outperforming the growth of emerging markets. So, and Zanzibar works for everybody. Because, as the minister said, you're safe to invest here, but you're safe to sell with very little capital gains, you can expatriate your money to anywhere you want, repatriate your money to anywhere you want. So you can have a big sales market. Now, if you want to sell your apartment in Zanzibar, the whole world is your market, right? Theoretically, you can sell to anyone in the world freely, with no restrictions whatsoever. And that in Zanzibar, which is more and more growing every year. And let me tell you one last thing, why investing in Fumba Town especially is so exciting. It's in Zanzibar, right? This beautiful place with the best beaches in the world and the most wonderful people in the world, right? It is also a town. Now, where in the world do you get the chance today to invest in an early phase in a fast-growing town that will be a city one day? Those wealthy families in Frankfurt, in London, in New York today had grandparents who did that 50, 100 years ago and bought properties in Manhattan, in Chelsea, in these areas, because they believe there's a city growing here. And I can tell you, those who inherit those properties today, they don't have to go and work anymore. Right? So now we're looking at Zanzibar, and one of the fastest growing economies, one of the fastest growing tourism sectors, a very strong, positive international brand with a government opening up, inviting investors, giving investors security, and proving that again by even issuing resident permits. I don't know. And I don't know many other places that are better as an investment. And I think we also have to move a little bit away from looking at returns of investment just by monetary returns. What does it pay me back in my pocket? There's much more than to happiness than having high returns in terms of money. Where there's not many places, and I've been to Dubai recently, many other places, when you wake up in the morning, there's no blue sky. Now wake up in Zanzibar, usually the sky is properly blue. The colors are amazing, right? Where in the world today can you live as safely as in Tanzania and in Zanzibar? There are other places, but this is exceptional. It is clean air. Guys, I love India, don't get me wrong, but I was in India last week, right? I don't want to tell you what my app said in terms of air quality, right? So you have fantastic clean air. You have fresh fruits. You have peace. You have a beautiful life. These are all returns of investment. So let's think broader. And I think the opportunity of investing in Zanzibar today, in Fumba Town, with CPS and other developers who are surely there doing a great job, is an absolutely unique opportunity. And if you can, you should grasp this opportunity. Invest in Zanzibar now.
Yes, and actually I can underline that, because when I walk around there just as a reporter, as a journalist, and talk to people who are new residents or talk to people who have been there for longer, I hear that a lot, this gratefulness for the environment, also coming together from many different nations. There are people from 60 nationalities having bought in Zanzibar, and also what people do enjoy a lot, I just want to say it shortly, is the permaculture aspect of the town. The nature, sustainable living conditions, markets. So, and I see our permaculture chefs here today, so it has to be said that is a very important message, which you do not get in other holiday destinations. However, and that leads me to my next questions, what I also have heard from residents doing interviews is that they were a little bit tired of waiting for their residence permit, because it has been quite a while, and the Honourable Minister has already given us a preview on the benefits, tax benefits, less tax on capital gains, also less expenses in other areas with a resident permit. But let me ask you, is it now imminent? Can I start applying today? That's what people ask, and I think that's what people have also a keen interest in knowing. Honorable Minister, if you may tell us a little bit about the timeline now, and again, also the criteria, who exactly qualifies for the new permit?
Okay, thank you. So the act has passed the 30th of June of this year. So as far as the legislative aspect, that's done. Now, in terms of the actualization and the framework, that has to be undertaken by the immigration. So if you do go today to apply for the residency permit, the answer that you'll get from immigration is that that system has not been uploaded yet. So
How do you know that? That's exactly the answer they gave me. The system, yes.
Yeah, even before coming here, I actually checked again to ask if the system is up and running. They told me that not yet. So those two things have to align. The legislative aspect is one thing, but putting the framework and actually implementing the system, it's another thing. Typical government bureaucracy, but hopefully we'll get it done very soon. So that's one.
How long will it take?
They did not provide any timeline, and I don't want to take any commitment in terms of providing a timeline. But the hard work, all the heavy lifting has been done. The crucial part was to get the legislative aspect through, which is already done. The administrative aspect, that's just administrative. So that will come down the line, and hopefully before the end of the year, we'll have that through and implemented. Now, the basic minimum requirement for you to be able to apply for the residency permit is that you have to invest in a property worth $100,000 going on upwards. So the minimum cutoff is 100,000, and it doesn't matter if you are buying property within a real estate development. You could be building your own house. Maybe you've purchased land somewhere in Nungwi or Paje and you want to develop your property, and it's worth $100,000 or more, you can apply for resident permit. So it's not confined within a residential
As
establishment.
long as it's a ZIPA endorsed project, is
Yes,
that right?
yeah.
And ZIPA is the Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if I don't have that,
You don't have to
then
go
I
to
cannot
Sebastian.
apply. Yeah.
You don't have to go to Baharesa. You could buy, which is happening quite a lot right now, where people are buying land, they acquire lease, and they want to develop their own villa, beach holiday house, or something like that.
What about condominiums? Also,
Condominiums-
holiday condominiums, I think, are also very interesting opportunity for people who want to spend their holidays in holiday apartments here. It's a new type of residential tourism, is it?
That's a whole different aspect of this. It has not been catered to yet, but the key issue that you have mentioned there, that there's a whole broad spectrum of opportunities down that line that we'll be willing to explore in the very near future.
Thank you very much. So I hope I can go back with a message. End of the year, I heard something there. Yeah, that might be especially interesting to many people who have been waiting for that, and who usually otherwise have to leave the country every 3 months and renew their visa, although their own property. And they have spent, as Honorable Minister explained, over $100,000, because this is the threshold to get the benefit. Yes, I think these are all very encouraging.
And I don't think that's much. Is it a lot, 100,000? Or that's just maybe from the audience? It's fine, yeah?
It's so far. You say it's a healthy line we are drawing there. When it comes to the houses, the apartments, the properties themselves, I would like to go back to Leander Moons, architect. Can you tell us a bit more about how you plan for this town? What sort of housing do you plan there? Also, budget is a consideration. As Sebastian said before, I think it started at 40,000 and is now around 70,000 and goes up all the way with the Burj skyscraper to very much higher figures. So what type of housing did you have in mind, and what type of housing do you suggest for a town in the tropics, in Zanzibar, for 60 nations? Give us a bit more of a picture, although we are all seeing also the interior designs there, but tell us a bit more, Leander.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, a town starts as a town, so it starts small with limited options. In terms of Fumba, it was of course based on a tourism market, but that's not the kind of town we want to envision for the future. The kind of town we want for the future is one which is integrated in the context of Zanzibar, of Stone Town, and we heard about rapid growth. Eventually, this will be part of Stone Town. I'm convinced of that. So also the town and the houses we are developing should reflect that. They should be for everyone, for the local population, for people from outside who want to spend their holiday there. I myself, I mean, I envy my fellow panelists. They already live there. We not yet, but we want to grow old there with my wife, and my kids want to play there in hopefully the near future. And that is the kind of town we want. And you, Andrea, mentioned the permaculture. I think this is also very important. When we plan a new town, we should also plan this town ahead of time, sustainable for the next generations. And I think like our environment, the landscape plays a very big role in that. So we take that beyond only the apartments. We take it also into the landscape. How much roads do we need? How can we make as much open space as possible? And how can we benefit all who live there from this fantastic climate? Sebastian mentioned it, the blue sky. When you don't have that, you have the blue ocean. So we all want to enjoy that. And that's what we aim for, the quality of living.
Yes, there are now 1,200 plus units sold. So in terms of density and architectural style, give us a bit more of an idea how it looks there.
So we started with single family houses, which were aligned, partly also detached. But of course, that doesn't bring the density of a city. I mean, I lived 6 years in New York, and New York is great in Manhattan, but it sprawls around and it's all like single family houses, and then everybody stands in the traffic jam. I don't think that is the kind of town we want in the future. I also don't think that's the kind of town which is appropriate for Zanzibar, where we have dense population on the island. So we are reinventing how a town should look like by implementing a lot of green pedestrian routes, short connections, and of course, when you go by feet, you cannot go too far. So it's also important that the density in the town gets a bit higher, that we get also townhouses, which are maybe 3 stories, 4 stories, that we have apartment buildings. We now have the Burj as a highlight, because this will enable the population to get also more access to amenities like cafeterias, like shops, like sports facilities. When you have a very low density town, all of that is far away, and you're basically bound to use a car to get there, and then everybody stands in the traffic jam.
So I also understand, and we see it on the films showing, that the higher you go away from, the further you go away from the sea, the higher the houses are. And towards the sea, there are more individual townhouses. So Leander, if you're planning to come move with your family, I know you have 2 small children, if you are planning to come to Tanzania, to move to Fumba, what would be your favorite model, favorite house type there?
It's easy, it's in the name, Vizazi.
Vizazi. So these are the multi-generational or generational houses, yeah? Thank you. So how do they look like? How do they work?
Well, you know, as an architect, it's a privilege to be able to design your own house, or to be able to then live in your own house. My wife says that's maybe not a privilege for me, but okay, that we'll see. But the Vizazi house, and I think this is not only for Vizazi, but it's a very flexible floor plan, so you can make out of it what you want. You can, I mean, I have 2 small children. I have, of course, a family. My parents are getting older. So the house has been designed to also cater for example, when my parents would not be able to live by themselves anymore. At the same time, I could use that room to run my business from Zanzibar when I would choose to do that. And when my kids are there, they can stay in the house, and if not, I can use those rooms for guests. So it's very open and flexible to whatever a kind of setting you have in your family. And I think that is also important when we think about future products. They should not be just tailored for one kind of setting, but we should be able to live in our house and change with our houses going forward.
Yes, that sounds like a very nice motto. I would like to address the audience now, and we have heard about the legal frame and investment benefits, and the type of housing, the type of town, the environmental aspects. What sort of questions would you have on your mind? Now you have the experts here, you can address them. What would you probably like to clarify? There's Baraka going around with a microphone, and there I see the first hand being raised. Please go ahead, please introduce yourself quickly, just your name and from where you are.
Meshimiwa, good evening, ladies
evening.
and gentlemen. I'm Kenan Machola, Defense Attaché, Balozi, Africa Kusini. My question, Minister, is directed to you. We have, on several occasions, have had, be it television, be it people talking, they only talk about Zanzibar. When you move around Zanzibar, Zanzibar is surrounded by a lot of smaller islands, beautiful, possibly more than Zanzibar itself. Now, you have these islands which needs infrastructure. What is your plan on that? Sebastian, Leand, what are your thoughts on that? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question, Honorable Minister. I think you have a lot of answers to that one.
Yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful question. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Zanzibar has, as an archipelago, has more than 52 small islets, including Unguja and Pemba. And right now we have actually put on the market 17 islands, 17 of those 52 islets up for investment, where we have granted building permits already to these developers, and the work has already begun on these small islands. So I think over the course of the next 3 to 4 years, we'll see a lot of development on these small islands, including the ones that we had previous investors that did not do much, but now we've been able to find other developers who are coming in, and they've already started the work. So this is something that is being done already. And we had taken note of that because we realized that we were sitting on a gem. Most of these islands, they were literally just sitting there. Nothing was going on, no developments. There were tourist attractions. People were going there, day trips, but there was nothing in terms of accommodation and all of these other facilities that are needed. So this is a strategic move that we have already begun, and it's well underway at the moment as we speak.
Which also brought in quite some investment, if I'm not wrong, 250 million in the first round or something, in investment money to develop small islands, Maldives style. Does that answer your question, gentlemen? Thank you very much. Are there any other audience questions?
Maybe we should ask the audience. Who's interested in investing in Zanzibar? Hands up. Today we'll be launching 2 products. We're going to be unveiling 2 products. I don't want to be a spokesperson for CPS, but I thought I initiate the discussion. So I think we'll all be interested to note in terms of the quality of the development. And there's no better developer at the moment in terms of real estate than CPS at the moment in Zanzibar. So this is a very opportune moment for anyone who's looking to come in and be part of the global community that we are establishing on the island.
Well, then thank you very much.
Yeah.
If there
Sorry,
are no
Andrea,
more,
Andrea, there's one more question on this
yes.
side. Yeah.
Hi, thank you for the presentation tonight. I have a question about the building standard, because you just talk about the quality of the developments. Can we know the building standards of the development you did at Fumba Town?
Can you introduce yourself, your name, please?
My name is Amina. Yeah.
So Amina, your question is about the building standards?
And the building quality, yes. What are the standards that have been followed to do the developments? Is it
Probably,
the British standard, the
also
European one, or German one? Or?
And your question goes to Sebastian Dieter?
Yes.
Probably also what the board is concerned.
Yes. So thank you for that question. Of course, first of all, we follow local requirements and standards. So all the projects have been designed to Tanzanian and Zanzibar standards, but many are also designed to European standards. We're often using the Eurocode as a standard to follow. I don't know if you know Eurocode 5 as one where we are going into areas, especially with high-rise timber structures that are not covered yet in the local building codes. So yes, we are working under the local authorities. We are working very hard on building very high quality and durable homes. That's why we're also pushing a lot for engineered timber as a construction material. We believe that is the best material to be used, especially here in the tropics where it's very, very hot and partially humid like today. We're using building material that is mostly, unfortunately, still imported because we don't have the factories in Zanzibar yet. But here we're using suppliers to the highest standards, or like RRK from Dubai, or German suppliers, Austrian suppliers of windows from Turkey, to develop a product that is actually matching an international standard. And we're continuously working on improving our standards and the quality of the housing in Fumba Town, to produce high standards of living but it is designed according to international standards. But maybe Leander can shortly say something about that, because he's the designer in the end of these buildings.
Yeah, and I think what is special about Fumba Town and the standards there is that we also work a lot, not only with timber, but with prefabrication. The big benefit of prefabrication that we have a controlled environment. So it's an industrial process where we get much better quality out of like the product than when we do it on site. We're not exposed to the rain as much as, of course, we see that now in the rainy season, that the rain has a big impact on quality of buildings. When we like do that in timber and do that fabricated, we don't have those issues. And we can clearly see that also as planners, where everybody said at the beginning, why would you use this material? It's not used in this context. And now people who come to Fumba Town, they can actually see that the conventional buildings, which we of course also design, have a poorer standard because of being exposed, because of like the different kind of construction process than the timber buildings. And I think that is also a tribute to that what we initially had as a thought actually comes to fruition now in the town.
Yes, those two products, the minister said already, we're launching two amazing products today. They're all built to international standards, and we're following the Eurocode mostly when we go to international standards, but also the American code. What is it called? International code now, right? International code.
IBC.
IBC 2023, right? Yes. The Americans call that code an international code, but it's actually the American code, but it's used internationally as well. So we're following that as well. But both products here will be coming from the Volkshaus factory, pre-manufactured to the highest perfection, precision. You can visit similar products that have been built in Fumba already. You can visit them. And believe me, the standard you're seeing there is absolutely comparable to the standard you're seeing in Dubai or you're seeing in Germany and Austria and many other places around the world. Yes.
Well, that gives me the perfect opportunity, if there are not more questions at the moment.
Yeah, so no more questions,
That gives
Andrea.
us a perfect opportunity indeed to go to the third part of our event tonight, the surprise part. Before we do that, without much fanfare, I would like to thank you, however, for the good insights shared, for the honest answers, and for not giving us too much hope, but enough hope that the residence permit and more beautiful houses in Fumba are coming up. And then I would say, let's go to the next part of the event.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We have to go there. Honorable Minister, please accompany me to unveil the two new products of Fumba Town that we have been carefully designing. Here, there, behind the door. So everybody sitting here, unfortunately, you have to turn around because it's that screen here
turn
behind
back,
us.
where you see
I think
something
while they're
black.
then playing the videos on the new screen, I think we have to pull this down. I think there's a countdown they're doing, right? Baraka, is there a countdown here?
Yes, there's a countdown. So, 1,
Pull this one. All right.
2, no, it's 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm pulling from behind. Yes, so this is Moyoni Bay, the heart of Fumba Town, a whole new townhouse, and Wangani Skylofts, enriching the quality of life. Two amazing products designed by Leander Moons, to be built by Volkshaus and to be designed and lived by our wonderful community from people from around more than 60 countries around the world interested in buying those. Karibuni Sana will show you much more about these products. I think there's clips running soon. The amazing Mwangani Skylofts on the 4th floor of the Mwangani buildings coming on top of there, and the beautiful new Moyoni base with a beautiful, very long pool available today, and very special, available today with a 5-year payment plan that is unseen before. So, very welcome to this evening. Thank you all for coming. Two new products. We'll talk more about this in a moment. And of course, we have our sales team here who can tell you everything about these new products, and enjoy the video showing these new products. Thank you very much. Thank you, Minister. Okay, thank you everyone. These are Mangani Skylofts and Moyoni Bay. I don't know, this is another video coming here, maybe not, or my presentation. This is the Moyoni Bay video, very beautiful project where growth is nurtured. You playing? Or? All right, I think I'm on with the presentation. I need my first screen. Okay, so why are we constantly designing new products, right? We call it products, homes, apartments in this case. It is because the number of people who want to invest in Fumba, who want to invest in Zanzibar, because of the fantastic work our government is doing, and of course the fantastic work the CPS team is doing, is continuously growing. Let me tell you one secret, and I think this is quite phenomenal. Since August 2015, which is now quite a few years ago, the CPS team has been selling apartments in Fumba every single month. There's not one month we failed to sell. And I'll tell you also one thing, demand is continuously growing. I'll show you shortly why that is happening. Demand is growing because Zanzibar has become very famous. Corona is over. We have a very open, inviting government. We have peace. We have the most amazing blue skies. And in Dar we have these trees with the yellow flowers. I don't know if you know them. And then the blue sky is just stunning. We have fantastic air, right? And we have beautiful people. And we have a fast-growing community. But how did this all start? Look, this was Fumba. The minister mentioned it and Leander mentioned it. This is how we started 2015, 2 houses, right? This is how it started. There was nothing on the peninsula, which was designated in 1996 to become a free economic zone to support the economic development of Zanzibar. This is how we started. And we started under the tree because to build community, you have to start with the community. And the community around the projects in Yamansi and Demani, our 2 villages, is at our heart. And I've sat with my 4 wasis and the Sheha of Demani every Saturday under the tree, and you can still visit that tree, which was my first office in Fumba, to discuss about what's going to happen. Kwa sababu sasa kuna mzungu anakuja, anataka kufanya kitu kubwa, wakijiji wanaogopa kwanza, si ndio? Yes? And it would be the same in Germany. If suddenly all these African investors coming and trained at my village and starting this huge project, everybody would be scared. So we met every week, and until today we have a very good relationship to our communities because we believe that community can only grow with community and from community. And this was in our hearts. Unfortunately, 2 of my mzees have already passed away who are still working with us since day one. And this has been the foundation of the community growing in Fumba Town until today. From Fobases and Eshea to clients from more than 60 countries. And like Andrea said before, more than 1,200, I checked this morning, 1,289 homes sold. So a lot of people from around the world have already invested and still want to invest. Then we started construction, but that was much, much later. Right? We started selling first. We said we have this great idea, and we were very, very blessed because the government believed us that this is true. We're going to do something amazing. And we started building. And this is how it looks like today. Actually, this is already outdated again. We've built more than 600 homes already. People are living in town. We've directly invested already more than $85 million. The whole project, like the minister said, is above $300 million as we speak. And it is just continuously growing. And the foundation of this growth has been the community, and then people we met, like Franco and Bernadette, who came with the green heart of permaculture, putting something in place that we haven't done somewhere before. Holistic water systems, local trees and plants, knowing how plants work together, how parks are being created, how landscapes should be designed to be resilient against climate change. You need indigenous plants. How do we do waste management? Yes, some of our clients are saying, oh, Sebastian, you haven't paved all the roads yet. Why is that? Bad infrastructure. But every day since this town has been coming up, there has been reliable waste management. The waste bins are collected every day, cleaned, recycled, not only just dumped somewhere, being looked after. A lot of things are happening in the background while we continuously improve the services of the town. And then, of course, people like Leander and his team and many, many others. I don't want to forget anybody, right? Our banking partners today here. NMB Bank, finally on board. CRDB, Lucy, welcome. CRDB Bank, NBC, Asania, and many others who are now in part of the Fumba family, part of the CPS family, supporting our clients, making an investment in this amazing development possible. They're all here today. Thank you for coming and joining us. So it is community all around that makes the project strong, resilient. And I think this is really the key to developing. I've seen this very impressively in India last week. You know, there's a lot of tile companies. In one small city, there's 1,200 tile factories. Morbi city, close to Ahmedabad. But they work as a community together because they know there's a big country, a big market, China. If we don't work closely together, we can't compete. So this is what we have to do in Tanzania as well, and in Zanzibar. We have to come together, the banks, the investors, the government, the different stakeholders. Together, we can do amazing things. And this is the proof of what is possible if we come together. So this is how it's supposed to look like, right, very soon. Then, of course, we didn't only do Fumba, we developed the Soul, which is was the first registered condominium project in Zanzibar, making history as the first condominium project with more than 234 hotel apartments, nearly completed, fully sold out, beautiful parks again and landscapes by PDC. This is how this house, and built with timber. You wouldn't think that these houses are built with timber. This is built with timber because we believe in a sustainable and green future, and we believe about decarbonizing what we do. That sounds a bit strange, right? But when we build with concrete and steel, we're emitting a lot of CO2, carbon dioxide, into the air, which causes climate change. If you build with timber, the opposite happens. We are storing, it's called sequestering, carbon dioxide in the timber while the trees grow. At the same time, they're giving off oxygen, which we need to breathe and live, right? So building with timber is really the future of green building. And we believe a huge economic opportunity here in Tanzania, which has huge forests. 52% of Tanzania is covered with forest. I don't say we're cutting it down and building houses. I say we're using it and we're planting even more trees, right? Seeing tree as a resource, trees and forests as a resource. So beautiful homes built in the soul. You see the timber ceilings, CLT ceilings, kitchens, This is also an opportunity, bringing kitchen factories to Tanzania, to Zanzibar, so we don't have to import them anymore. This is how beautiful they look at night. Sold out, gentlemen and ladies, no more available. But we have, of course, new things for you today, like the Mangani Skylofts and the Moyuni Base. Now let's talk why you should invest in properties, very shortly. I know you heard a lot already, right? Because it pays. So, return of investment in terms of cash is amazing with real estate, and no other investment is as safe. You can buy gold to secure you in terms of inflation, but I always say, okay, if you bought gold, it's nice, it's safe, it protects your wealth, but in the worst case, you can't eat it and you can't live in it. You have to spend money to protect it. While if you invest in real estate, in worst case, you can stay in your apartment, right? You can at least live in it, or you can rent it out and make some income. Do that with gold. Doesn't work, right? So real estate properties are a very safe investment and should be in everybody's portfolio, and CPS is trying to make it possible for everyone to own a property also here in Tanzania, right? And it grows. Look, these townhouses were $45,900. There was, I know, quite a few lucky people who bought at that time. Today, they're selling at $120,000, but I can tell you we don't have any, because if we had one, it'd be sold tomorrow. Then we have the beautiful Fumba Horizons, right? They used to cost $195,000, and we're selling today for $425,000, but also they are sold out. We don't have any available. That is 270% growth in just 3 years, right? This is not the norm. This is not standard. This is not always going to happen, right? But these are the opportunities of newly growing towns and cities coming up in most beautiful place in the world, Zanzibar. It is a huge opportunity for investment. And we are going down in prices. Today, you can buy Moyoni Bay with a down payment of $13,000 only, and then monthly installments over 5 years. We are really working hard of making this possible, that people can afford to buy a home in Zanzibar and profit from this. But of course, we are here also with our banking partners who offer you mortgages over much longer periods. That's even more affordable to own a property in Zanzibar, in Fumba Town. Do invest now in Fumba Town. Do invest now in Zanzibar. And as the minister's right, it's not only CPS, I have to say that always. There's other developers. And if you go to the office, I recommend strongly, when you invest in Zanzibar, go and see a government office, Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority, to recommend who's, where and how you should best invest in Zanzibar. Don't just buy a home from somebody selling you something, right? Go and use the government authorities who will guide you in doing the right investment in Zanzibar. So yes, huge opportunity, but much, much more. Invest now. I said that many, many times. How does a place, and that differentiates Fumba now from estates. You will see in Zanzibar also today, there's a lot of, also the Soul is basically an estate where people are coming on a holiday, residential resort they call it, right? Or beach estate, or beach resort, where you can buy apartments. There's a huge difference to a town. Estate is finished and over, right? Maybe 200 apartments, maybe 50 villas, and that's it. And mostly depending on the tourism market. A town like Fumba Town is very different. A town is not a place where you just go to sleep and you go to swim in the beach or swim in the sea and enjoy the beach. A town is where people live. And living is more than sleeping. Living is working, where people find jobs, where people go in the evening and enjoy a football game together, where people go and play football together or go and see a match in the sports bar, where people go and enjoy evenings and restaurants, and where there's much, much more happening than just in an estate. So a town is a growing, vibrant, inspiring center, right? Towns are key for inspiration. And this is not only we think that. Here in the middle you have the minister again, and you have Daniel Yu, who is the CEO of Wasoko, the fastest and biggest tech company in Africa, fastest growing and largest tech company in Africa today. Right, with a valuation close to $1 billion, they have moved their tech hub to Fumba Town because they believe that this town will create inspiration and innovation that drives their business. And with that announcement, and we're working closely with the Minister's Office and the other government authorities on the Silicon Zanzibar initiative, we have now more than 230 companies registered and listed and ready to come to Zanzibar with the new Investment Act that we have just been working on as well. So this is huge. So there is jobs coming. African School of Economics, Dr. Leonard, Professor Leonard. We signed the MOU. They're in the process of registering with the government authorities, the TCU, opening the African School of Economics, offering world-class economic education from next year in Fumba town. More than 1,000 students starting, and this is going to be huge. Right, this is their first campus in East Africa, going to be the East African Center in Zanzibar, attracting the best talent from Africa, from Zanzibar, from Tanzania, to study. And he's amazing. I met him. I had the chance to meet him in Fumba. He's absolutely fantastic. But that's only one of two universities, as you read. Dr. Minio, His Excellency Dr. Minio, President in Zanzibar, just inaugurated the Indian Institute of Technology, I think a week ago. They opened campus not in Fumba town, but on the Fumba Peninsula. And their students will live in Fumba town. And their professors and faculty members are already living in Fumba town, driving the market for residences. So these are game changers. This is town development. This is now happening, and this is why you should to join this very, very soon. Leander has designed a beautiful Fumba sports park, which Milan back here is currently planning to build, coming up with tennis courts, pools, football grounds, basketball grounds, skateboard park. We're working with the Tanzanian Skateboard Association. Do you know that exists? The Tanzanian Skateboard Association. They're building their first public skateboard park in Fumba town for the kids to enjoy. We had the meeting this morning here in the office, which is fantastic. All right, so that's going to be pools and everything. And of course, our first commercial center, that's where our offices and many, many other offices and supermarkets and other services in Fumba town has opened last year. And last but not least, the Burj. Next week, Friday, we're going to have a press conference again in Zanzibar announcing the big international hotel brand that will come into the podium of the Burj. 180 keys. I'm not going to tell you which brand it is yet, but once this brand has signed up and their royalty program will be informed, more than 180 million people around the world will hear about Fumba, the Burj, and coming on holiday and potentially investing in Zanzibar. And I think that is huge, right? So a big international brand coming in. The Burj already selling at above 30%. And I tell you, get an apartment soon if you can. I'm going on a trip in 2 weeks. And I promised my team and my investors to come back with the Burj sold out. So if you want to have an apartment in the Burj, make sure you sign up before end of the year, because when I come back, there will be no apartments left. So the Burj coming, beautiful, big announcement, big international hotel coming in, conferencing facilities, and of course this is going to drive life in Fumba. And there's much, much more. I had a dinner with Charles Smith, an NBA player building an NBA arena in Fumba, right? They're also living in Fumba town. A lot of things are happening there. Join this community now and profit from what's coming. So invest now. Leander's going to help me. Leander, come to the stage. Moyoni homes. These were the first Moyoni homes we sold. I don't tell you what we sold them for in the beginning, right? They are sold out. It's a 2-story townhouse. Leander can tell you a little bit more. Maybe we can have a second microphone, or I can give you this. And we're going to have the new one, the new Moyoni base coming. Maybe Leander can say something.
Yes, thank you, Sebastian. It has been quite a journey with Moyoni. Of course, this was our first 2-story timber building in Fumba. I think also that was a bit of a highlight at the time, because it was the first time we used CLT in East Africa. Now everybody is talking about it, but it was the first time here. So that project has been very successful. We used that project to create a community. And with the second phase, basically, of that, the Moyoni Bay, we driven that one step further. The buildings are there to create that green community, that sustainable, future-orientated community. At the same time, community is also different people. And this is very important, that like the house allows for different ways of living. When you go into the ground floor setting or in the upper floor apartment, you feel like in a complete different surrounding. And this is with intention, because we don't want that all these houses are the same. We want for everybody to find a place in that setting. That's also why we have like orientated the buildings in a way that there's not one single view which is identical for all apartments. Every apartment has something from itself, something individual for the ones who choose to live there to choose. And I think that, of course, is then captured together by that garden, which will be shared, which has a long pool in it with two ends and a connecting kind of canal. That's where then the community comes together. So your own apartment in a community setting.
And of course, coming from Holland, he had to build a channel here, right? So we have the Dutch channel in between here. I just realized that now, Leander.
Yeah, you are talking about the sky. For us Dutch, it's always about the water.
It's
so
also about water.
The blue ocean and the blue water.
So actually, together with the channel which you can walk in or swim in, it's going to be the longest pool in Zanzibar. Right? Not the largest, but the longest for sure. So so everybody has access to water, has access to this beautiful landscaping that will definitely be designed beautiful by PDC, Permaculture Design Company, Franco, Bernadette, and their team. And it's going to be a stunning new project. And again, we really want to make this possible that everybody can buy. That's why we're thankful that the banks are here that will help you to finance if you want to finance an apartment like there. But we also offer payment plans up to 5 years directly from CPS. Talk to our sales team, they can help you. But Moyoni Bay is, of course, not the only one. We have one more product. Many of you have been to Fumba, know the Mangani apartments. I live in one of these apartments because I'm usually only staying a few days. They are beautiful. Leander designed them originally, but they're nearly sold. So we thought, what do we do, Leander?
Yeah, I think it started when we were standing on top of them, and then you have this great roof terraces where then the laundry is drying. And we thought, this is the most fantastic view in town. Why should we not use that view? Up there, like you have nothing in front of you. You have a fantastic view, not only of the ocean, but also of the town. And of course, we learned during the time that we were working there, especially from the permaculture team, is also thinking about how can we, when we do something like this, make the whole building better. So when you look at the design, it's a lightweight structure in timber, so that's good for the climate, for the environment, but it also integrates green. It also creates additional shading for the building and the inhabitants underneath. So we're not only adding a great additional feature to the building, we're making the quality for all inhabitants in the building better. And it's all about, then when we have, of course, that great view, we don't have the plants. That was a bit like the pity I felt in the rest of the higher apartments. So we integrated planters also on the top floor. So you have the feeling that you live in a garden with a fantastic ocean view.
Yes, and as we got the canals in the last one, here now everyone who can have a Mangani skyloft, they are built on top of the existing Mangani buildings, right? They're going to be lifted up there. Beautifully designed, high-end finishing with ACs, beautiful kitchens coming. And of course you wake up like that lady in the morning and you're going to have a fantastic sea view. And I tell you, most of the time, it's a blue you can't imagine. It's just stunningly beautiful. You're above everybody. So you have your green planters in front, so you see the blue and the green, and you are having your absolute privacy, right? It's an absolute beautiful apartment building, apartment up there, 1-bedroom apartments, 2 1-bedroom apartments on each Mangani. Sign them up quickly. There's only very limited numbers of units available because there's only, of course, available on the existing Manganis. So be quick on that one. And there's another image here, right? So this is also protecting, of course, privacy from the level below, right, Leander?
Yes, correct. And additional shading. So
yes,
it always comes both ways.
Yes. So create 2 new products. This is only this week. We wanted to give you this as an opportunity, right? There are specials that Fatma will come to in a second that we can offer, especially when you use the opportunities that our partner banks are offering you, right? Special payment plans, special incentives, special discounts. Our sales teams are here. We want to thank you again for coming. We want to thank very much the Minister for joining us this evening. And of course, supporting this project, supporting the investors from around the world coming to invest in Zanzibar. Andrea, thank you very much for the wonderful moderation of the panel. Thank you everybody for coming. Leandro, thank you for being here. The CPS team, thank you for doing this. And of course, let me not forget, you can have a look at our new office. We just redesigned our office. We're growing. We needed more desks, more office space. So, karibuni sana, karibuni CPS Africa, karibuni Fumba, karibuni Zanzibar. Invest now. Asante sana, and have a nice evening. Now, Fatma.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Asante sana, our Minister from Zanzibar, Mheshimiwa Mudrik Soraga, our Minister for Economics and Investment. Karibu sana ofisi zetu za Dar es Salaam. Wageni wote, karibuni sana. Thank you for coming and thank you for supporting us. I have just small thing for everyone here, and my talks won't be very long, but I would also like to introduce our financial partners who are here, and that is we have tonight Azania Bank, we have NMB Bank, CRDB, NBC, and ABSA. Thank you for coming, and each bank will give them some few minutes to come and talk about their mortgage and diaspora so that we can align financially. These are our financial partners. We've been with them all throughout. But the most important thing, Andrea, when you talked about 60 nationalities, I like to say something. Just last week, we've added another country, and that is Lesotho. So now we have 61 countries that, 61 nationalities that have bought into Fumba. So please, karibuni sana. Fumba is welcomed for everyone. We are happy the government have been really supporting us on resident permit. Kwa wale wa zamani kama mimi, if you talk about Fumba town, if you recall those hadithi za kina babu za zamani na mabibi, ama kwa wale wa zamani sana, if you recall mama na mwana, you know, those stories unahadithiwa and then it reaches somewhere, you feel like, and then what happened? So if someone wants to talk to you, you feel like, wait, ebu subiri, then what happened? That's the beautiful story of Fumba. Fumba has beautiful, nice stories that we can all go along with it. Very important about Fumba is the lifestyle. Apart from Majengo, but the lifestyle of Fumba is amazing, it's incredible, it's unique. It's something that you have not seen. Yes, you can compare Majengo with other projects, but you cannot compare lifestyle ya Fumba with other projects. That's why tumeweza attract 61 nationalities to buy in Fumba. So Fumba, it's amazing, it has its unique story. Investing in Fumba, hujachelewa. Investing is about investing now. Hujachelewa, we are here. Our sales team is here to answer all your questions. Lakini pia, I want to give these opportunities to our financial partners. Watuambie zaidi about mortgage and diaspora. One thing ambao tunajivunia sana, from the almost 1,300 units that have been sold, 30% of the people who bought that units are Tanzanians. We are very proud of that. And this speaks volume. You know what it speaks? It speaks that Fumba town will never be a ghost town. Itakuwa almost a vibrant town. It doesn't have only foreigners who comes and go during holidays, but it has people there to stay permanently. And what we're advocating now in our vision to have at least 50% Tanzanians buying into Fumba town. So please, I should welcome on the platform from ABSA Bank, Patricia Nguma. She's the asset and product manager of ABSA Bank. Karibu, Patricia. With few minutes, please tell us a little bit about mortgage and diaspora with ABSA Bank.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know if I should be up here or down there. It's a pleasure for us to be here. I think just by introducing myself, my name is Patricia Ngoma, and I'm the head of asset products at ABSA. It's truly a pleasure because we are one of the partners with CPS Limited, and projects like this, the ones they've launched today, is what we do in terms of selling them on mortgage terms. So we have 4 propositions under our mortgage products, but today I think I'll speak more on the purchase mortgage because it ties back to now you being interested in investing in a property in Fumba, and we can actually help you with the financing behind that. So if you were to take a purchase mortgage with ABSA, what you require is to have just a 10% down payment as your advance, and then the bank would give you 90% as a mortgage. And you can pay that slowly over a period of 25 years. And the reason we do that is to ensure that there's affordability. Rather than asking you to repay it in 5 years, we give you 25 years, easing affordability, meaning that you pay less amount per month to actually afford a home like that. With Fumba being, rather CPS being one of our partners, we do also see a lot of interest in their properties, in that I think you've gone around the market, you've seen how much units such as this are being sold for. So units that are sold by CPS are actually value for money. And it's something I think I can advocate most Tanzanians can actually afford when you're taking a mortgage to purchase such a unit. Apart from purchase mortgages, we do have things like renovation of a home. We do that. So once you have a property that's already aged, we can actually give you a mortgage to renovate it or improve the appearance of that property. Apart from that, we also have something that we call a home equity loan. So if you're already typically a homeowner, you have a property elsewhere, you can actually release the investment in that property. So we give you up to 80% of the value of that property as a loan. Even if you want to invest in Fumba, we can actually give you an equity on your existing property. You take the funds and then you go purchase the property there with no hassle. And that's a period of 20 years repayment. Another product we have is actually called a home construction loan. And with that, as the name suggests, is that you have a plot somewhere, you have a piece of land that is title deed. We can actually give you a loan to go and construct on that particular plot. So just going back to the product that actually ties back to CPS or Fumba Town, the purchase mortgage offers flexible repayments, and we actually have interest rates that are affordable but still negotiable. So we are open to discussions. Whatever your interest is, we can actually work something out that can suit you or can suit your lifestyle. On top of that, I think currently what we can accommodate is Tanzanians living here as well as Tanzanians living in the diaspora. But we do have a product coming up with the land laws changing in Zanzibar. We are willing to accommodate foreigners willing to invest, but that is something that is still in process to be worked on, and I think we can also launch it very soon with CPS as one of our partners. Yeah, so that's all from me, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Patricia. So you see, Absa Bank, you have until 25 years to pay for your mortgage. And Karibu Sana Jackson Lohe from Azania Bank. He's the manager retail in banking. In few words.
Thank you very much, Fatma, and thank you very much for the good presentation, Sebastian, Honorable Minister, and everyone. It's a pleasure for us to be here, a very proud partner of CPS. We've been working with CPS for the past 6 years now, and we are happy to say that we are one of the happy financiers of Tanzanians and even foreigners living in Zanzibar, but also the diaspora who have purchased some units from the Fumba town, the very beautiful Fumba town. We also want to congratulate CPS for the new project, and we are looking forward that this will open up more avenues for business with CPS. Our mortgage terms, we have a tenure of up to 25 years as per regulations, and again, as per regulations, we can finance up to 90% to any borrower. And as per the new regulation, we are open to lending or providing mortgage loans to foreigners who have residences in Zanzibar, residence permits in Zanzibar, but also the Tanzanian diaspora, those with Tanzanian passports, but also those who were born in Tanzania but have foreign passports. So we are open to all of those. We also have product for the diaspora. We've been told that we have an audience that's watching this online on YouTube, and we are surely comfortable that there'll be diaspora watching this. We are happy to say that we are ready to serve them on the mortgage finance part, but also we have a very friendly product for the diaspora, whereby they can operate accounts with us with free incoming fund transfers, but also free, seamless, very friendly internet banking platform. So you're all mostly welcome. I have my colleagues here with me from our branches and from the head office. We have the relationship manager for diaspora banking, Helen, she's sitting right there. But I also have a team of other relationship managers around. So we believe that during the time that will be provided for mingling, we'll be able to share our contacts, and we'll be very, very happy to serve you all. Karibuni sana Azania Bank.
Okay, and from CRDB, we have Chibi, manager diaspora banking also is here to tell us in few words.
Good evening all. As Fatma introduced me, my name is Chibi from CRDB Bank. As we are here, first of all, to congratulate Mr. Sebastian and the team, also our Honorable Minister for launching these two products. As a bank, we collaborate with Fumba Town, CPS, to give them a loan from diaspora. We, as a CRDB bank, we give them the loan to diaspora citizen, both citizen and the non-citizen. I mean that who have a Tanzanian passport and who does not have a Tanzanian passport. So as a bank, we have three parts. We less than 10 years, we give them 14%. If you take that loan, I mean that mortgage loan, we give them 14%, less than 10 years. Then 10 years to 15 years, we give them 14%, 15%, I mean. Then 16% to 15 years up to 25 years. So I think CRDB Bank, we are the first bank to enter contract with this Fumba Town project. And we are very happy to work Mr. Sebastian and his team with the Fatma. But we have another product, as diaspora was told that they are live with us. We also have cover assurance for all diaspora people. Well, as a bank, we can give up to 15 million to diaspora for repatriation of the body if something happened for diaspora there outside of the country, for a member, and also for his, her or his partner, also 15 million. So you can say it's almost 30 million for diaspora. Also, we have another product. Now we have a diaspora team, diaspora people. They can open or have this account onboarding through digital. We have our SIM banking. Diaspora person can open the account through SIM banking. There is no now interaction of manual. We are trying to reduce as much as possible the manual, because we know those diaspora that are ahead of us. So in very short, because we have a short time, welcome to CRDB Bank. We have my colleagues here, Madam Farida Hamza from Mortgage Department, also our relationship manager from CRDB Bank will be here for one-to-one session or conservation. Welcome to CRDB Bank.
Asante CRDB, and we also have Numbilia, Asset Product Manager for NBC Bank. Karibu sana Numbilia. Very short word.
Asante Fatma. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Numbilia from NBC, the National Bank of Commerce. So we're actually very proud and very happy to be part of the team today, and we appreciate Fumba's efforts in supporting investment in real estate. And us as NBC, we have different solutions to ensure that our customers are able to own properties in Fumba Town, and we have a home purchase for customers who wants to do home purchase for properties based in Fumba. And we do offer a loan of up to 85% of the value of the property, and it actually goes up to 1 billion. In terms of repayment, customer has a flexible repayment period. They can opt up to 25 years to be able to service the loan. But not only that, a customer is able to be able to repay the loan with a spouse. If you have to service the loan jointly, you can be able to do it with our mortgage loan. But furthermore, for those who have already invested in Fumba, they do own properties. You can come to us. We give you equity release, where you are able to service the loan of up to 20 years. And with that money that you get, you are able to do investments in either business as well as investment in treasury bills, or bonds. So there are more opportunities with NBC. Our interest rate is actually very affordable, and we are not afraid to mention it here. We do 13%. It's negotiable. If you want to go low, we do it. So karibuni sana, sana, sana NBC. We also have other different types of loans. We do home completion as well as renovation. But if you have your loan, mortgage loan somewhere else, don't worry. We can take that and give you the best rate. Karibuni sana.
NBC, thank you. But my advice, if you go for equity loan, come back to Fumba. Last but not least, we have NMB, Lucy Kimei, Manager Diaspora. Karibu sana.
Good evening, shikamoni wakubwa. Congratulations to CPS. As I've been introduced, my name is Lucy Kimei. I am from NMB. I've worked with Fumba forever. Fumba is my baby. It's been my baby. I've been through the journey for Fumba. I've been through CPS growth and change. And I'm so proud to be part of it now. Working together with Fumba has been almost an achievement that I never even earned. I was working for my people. I was working for Tanzanians. I was working to see change in Zanzibar. I love Zanzibar so much. Mimi ni Mchaga. My mom and my dad ni Wachaga, but I would retire in Zanzibar. So I would intentionally retire at Fumba. And I think that connection comes with Sebastian. Sebastian is so passionate about Zanzibar, more than the Zanzibaris. And he started that from the beginning. We met maybe 10, 11 years ago, maybe even earlier than that. When he was showing the shamba, I saw the shamba. The 2 houses, I saw the 2 houses. So you know where I come from. So I'm so happy to be part of this celebration. And we've been here. I was here with Mheshimiwa, I think 2-3 years ago, tulikuwa ndani. It was raining heavily, but we were here listening to Sebastian give us and preaching us the change and the new project and the new baby. And today, yet another new baby. So we're going to have many babies, and trust me, Fumba is never going to have enough. CPS has innovation of different levels. In terms of being eco-friendly, concerned about green. And people ask, I think there's a lady called Amina, she was there. She asked on the quality of the properties, the quality of the buildings. I've seen these buildings before they were finished, from construction, from the foundation, until when somebody is given a key to move into their house. So I have overseen diasporas from Omani, diasporas from the States, diasporas from Netherlands, diasporas from Australia, buy these homes, come see these homes, and they almost pass out because they don't believe it. It's actually in Tanzania. It's in Zanzibar, where they thought it was a bush and an island that you would have to move mountains to build a home, as good as a CPS properties. So proudly, as an MB, closer to you, we're here yet again to make sure that we make this possible for you, you as a Tanzanian, a resident in Tanzania today, you as a non-resident, a diaspora, who is in Australia today and thinking, in the next 10 years, I want to go back home. I don't need to go to Mwanza. I don't need to go to Moshi, yes, in Mchaga. I don't need to go to Kagera. I'm going to build a home for my, my other people, but I'm going to go and wind down at Fumba. I'm going to go for my weekends with my private charter to Fumba. Maybe I'll own a property at Mwangani. I want a skyloft. So I'm going to get a skyloft at Fumba. So as NMB, we want to make sure we enable you to do that, to make that dream come true. We want to make sure that you are capable of owning that Moyoni property. You are capable of owning a skyloft as a dream. We'll make it possible. In the next 20 years, You'll be owning your property. And you know what? It's possible for the young and the elders. Why? Because this property, as Sebastian has highlighted simultaneously, Namweshimiwa said, this is property. It grows every other time. And this is Zanzibar, guys. Who doesn't know Zanzibar? Who in the world today travels and you don't get asked, how is Zanzibar? How do I get to Zanzibar? Or Kilimanjaro or any other places. But Zanzibar will come first for Tanzania. So why not own a property in Zanzibar that would actually, and I'm a banker, I'm saying this, would actually finance on its own. You'll get a loan today from NMB, but in the next 10 years, this property will be financing on its own. You'll retire early. Probably some of you are 30 here. Well, I'm about 21. So in the next 10 years, I'll be early retired and I will not be paying a mortgage because my home would already be financed and it will already be paying itself off. And because we've already been almost assured, 20% of these properties are skyrocketing prices. There was somebody who bought a property in 2016 at $21,900. And Sebastian is so kind, interest-free, you'll pay it in 5 years. You pay a lump sum down deposit of about $5,000, was it? Yeah? And then you'll pay installments of about $1,100 when you can, but within the next 5 years. $22,000, a property at Fumba. Exactly 10 years ago, maybe, about 8 years ago. But you know what, today, that property, you cannot own it, you cannot buy it, it's not available for $50,000. So why not get one? Okay, so my time is up, but I'm good at this. So, because I'm good at this, my team and I are here. And because we stayed, we're closer to you. So feel comfortable to stop us, ask us about anything, visit us at many of our branches across Tanzania, give us a call and we'll come to you and we'll make this seamless. We'll make this accessible at any point, anywhere, in local currency in shillings or in foreign currency in dollars. Yes, the maximum period of 20 years. And yes, this is for resident Tanzanians and non-residents. So karibuni sana, karibu yako, closer to you, NMB Bank. Thank you.
I hope Lucy ameshauzia hapa nyumba moja. Lucy, I think it is okay if you've never been to Zanzibar, but it is not okay if you've never been to Fumba Town. I'm telling you. If you've never been to Fumba Town, it's not okay. Only one day in the morning, in the evening, you are back. Guys, asanteni sana. Thank you for coming. Before we leave, yeah, our CEO is telling us anyone who is buying tonight through our financial partners, he will get 10% discount. Anyone buying through our financial partners, he will get 10% discount. Karibuni. Be part of the story of Fumba. It's amazing. If somebody knows Fumba since it started, or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it's really an amazing story. Be part of the story. Karibuni sana. Karibuni for food. Karibuni for drinks. Karibuni mnunue. Karibuni.
Thank you very much also to the wonderful audience. And now it's definitely time to network. Welcome.